If you go on the website, you cannot find this. Hey Puzzle Buddies, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing something very fun. Not only are we trying out a puzzle from a brand that's new to me and I think will be new to some of you, we also are doing an unreleased puzzle. Yes, this puzzle that I have right here. If you go on the website, you cannot find this, but I have it. And I will tell you how you can get it too, if you want. Today we're trying out Bridgetown Puzzles, which is a brand that I have been wanting to try literally for the past year or two. I think that's about how long they've been around. And I saw that they were coming out with a subscription. And so I thought that was the perfect time to go ahead and give them a try. You can choose either the every 2 month or the every 4 month option. But either way, in that time period, you get a 500-piece puzzle. And you don't know anything about it, just that it's from Bridgetown, it's 500 pieces, and it's unreleased yet to the public. So you can only get the puzzle right now through the subscription, which I think is very cool. Now, going into it, I honestly was a little bit, not nervous, but I just really did not know what to expect because I've seen Bridgetown Puzzles artwork. Like, you kind of get an idea of the theme of a brand or they're kind of their vibe. And so I really was not sure what I was going to get. So I went and opened up the box, or I tried to. I realized I didn't have scissors, so I had to go find some scissors. Came back, opened up the box, and the first thing I saw was this really nice little thank you note from the owner. And then you get a sticker that I think it's very cute, but I think it's funny because they are very, very much upfront about the fact that they do not use AI art or AI artists. They are very, very, very upfront. The fact that they support real human artists with their puzzles. So you get the sticker and then you get a card about the company, and then there was the puzzle. And so this is the one that I got. It's 500 pieces. It's called Fish Feast, and the artist is Ruthie Kim. And I think that this is a really cool image. Now, would I have picked this out myself if I just saw this on the website? Probably not. But I'm not mad that I have it, honestly. The box has that nice, soft matte kind of feel to it, which always feels real nice in your hands. And then I went ahead and got the box open, and the pieces looked nice and chunky. Not like huge pieces, but they definitely look like they're not skipping any meals. So y'all know I like that. You also have a really decent sized poster, and the pieces come in a plastic bag. I almost did not realize that it was a resealable bag because I was literally about to just rip the bag open like you would with a Ravensburger or something. Thankfully, I noticed that it's resealable, but it's cinched at the top, so I had to cut off the top and then I could open up the bag. So I did my usual. I dumped all the pieces out and I did a flip of everything. And I will say that the pieces are matte. They are that soft touch matte, whatever you call it. Does it have a name? Soft touch matte finish, literally. So yeah, they feel very nice. There's no glare whatsoever. So that was very good. But immediately I'm noticing, obviously, as I'm unveiling the pieces, all the pieces are either yellow, green, blue, or coral, pretty much, and brown. So it was just a sea of a lot of the same color. And recently I've been doing a lot of puzzles that are very easily sortable, like bright red here, bright blue here, bright green there. And so seeing this, I was a little bit nervous. Ended up deciding to start with the plates just because the white and the blues were sticking out to me. So I was starting to make a bunch of different piles of the different plates. And I was trying to sort out one texture from the next, trying to get familiar with the puzzle. You know, you gotta spend some time getting to know the puzzle a bit. And so I was making these little piles for all the different plates. The first one that I really started to work on was the sardines at the top of the image. And then I ended up spending a good bit of time on that big salmon or snapper. I think it's a red snapper. I spent a lot of time on that plate because I had all these pieces and I knew if I stared at them long enough, eventually they would start to make sense. And so finally I got it mostly together. That was followed by a lot of just sorting, making little piles, and just bouncing around from one plate to the other, trying to get some pieces in here, trying to get some pieces in there. I ended up working on the fried calamari plate and I got that one pretty much all done. And then I tried to do the crab legs, didn't make much progress there. And then my camera died. And after that, I did a little bit more sorting, but y'all didn't miss much, I promise. So that was the first night that I worked on the puzzle, and I spent an hour and a half on it that evening. And if you look at what I did, an hour and a half, that I spent a very long time doing not a whole lot. I'll be honest. That night I was sleepy. I had a long day. I feel like someone took my sweet baby and replaced him with a toddler that just yells and screams all day. So I was tired, and I just feel like I was just not focused really. So that is all I got done the first day. And then I came back the second night, which was yesterday, and I was starting to work again, but I still just wasn't I just wasn't particularly focused. I was just kind of like doing this, doing that, kind of putting some sections together. And after like 30, maybe 45 minutes of that, I said, okay, this is enough. I need to lock in because there's no reason that I need to spend like 2, 3, 4 days. At the rate I was going, this puzzle is going to take me like 4 or 5 days. There is no reason. There's no reason for that. I did the like yellow pasta with the clams or something. And I did the like reddish spaghetti in the corner. And then I went ahead and decided to do the border because I was like, I just need something to reel it all in. I need to contain everything. Ended up working on the shrimp and the crab. The crab I kind of knew based off like the plate, but then also there are some pieces that are mostly just the coral, and the coral of the crab looks like the coral of the snapper. It looks like the coral of the lobster. So I wasn't too sure what I was doing, but the shrimp plate I was like kind of okay with, especially because there's that like section of the oysters and everything. Then I ended up going ahead and pulling out all of the coral pieces so that way I could just have them all at once and hopefully get them together like I needed to. And then I finished most of the crab, the shrimp, and the snapper in the middle. Let me just say, it was very cold in this room that night. And up until this point, like I said, I had just been lollygagging, just doing whatever in my own little world. And so I was telling myself that I was not allowed to get a blanket or a jacket until I got through this puzzle. I ended up caving because it was very cold. I was like, I need something. But I had gotten enough done that I felt okay. It was like, okay, I can get a blanket. I am working. So I think I earned a blanket. At this point, I really just kind of had a whole lot of those like random background pieces. I had most of like the main objects done, but just had all those its and bits and random pieces. So I was trying to get those in. And of course, now it's like the first time that I'm really paying attention to like all the little wine glasses and like the tins of sardines and like all the other like extra background stuff. Trying to figure out like what spoon and what fork goes where. But eventually I got it all done until I realized at the very end I was missing a piece. And I was very confident that I had lost a piece. I didn't think that this was like a manufacturing thing. I knew in my heart that I had lost this piece, especially because like on the first night I think I was wearing a hoodie, and then the second night I got that blanket. I was pretty certain that at some point I had gotten the piece stuck to my sleeves. In fact, in the time lapse, you might be able to see like every time I reach, I kind of like dust off my arms because I'm trying to make sure I didn't have a piece stuck. But I was pretty confident that I had. So I was like looking all over the floor. I was like digging in around the blanket. I was like under my shirt trying to look. I was all on the floor, everywhere, trying to look for this piece, and I could not find it. So I finally just kind of gave up and just accepted, like, okay, I lost this piece, and maybe I'll find it. And then as I was going to put everything back, so like I had some stuff that I keep on the table when I'm not filming. And as I was putting the stuff back, what fell off of the back of the smart puzzle? The last piece. I guess at some point when the night before I had put the smart puzzle on top of this table because I still haven't hung it up yet, the piece got stuck. Just that one piece. I don't even know how exactly, but it got stuck to the back. It fell off. Thankfully, I noticed it. And so I was able to get that last piece in. So that is how it went with me in this puzzle. I really enjoyed it. I just think that it was just too busy for what my mind could handle these past couple of days. But honestly, it's a really pretty image. I think that the pieces feel really nice. The puzzle looks beautiful when it's done. So I had a good time. Mind you, it did get a little bit frustrating at some parts, especially when I was very much like, what is going on? Why is nothing going in? But once I got back focused and really got into it, it was a good time. Like I mentioned, the pieces are nice and matte, and it's a pretty like typical grid cut. However, all of the nubs, like the ins and the outs, are pretty wonky enough that there really isn't room for false fits. So even whenever I did have a piece in the wrong place, it was pretty obvious and pretty easy to just like go ahead and say, okay, no, we gotta try something else. So that is how things went for me with my first time trying a Bridgetown puzzle. I'd say things went pretty well. I do think I'm going to keep my subscription up for at least the next few months to see how it goes and see what kind of puzzles I end up with. I don't think I'll do all of them on the channel, or at least I'll do a bit of a delay. So that way, if you sign up for it too, you won't get spoiled every single time. Now, this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. But if you are curious and you want to check out the subscription, I will leave a link in the description box, along with a link to my Amazon storefront and my vintage store so you can shop things that you've seen on the channel. In the comments, let me know if you've tried Bridgetown puzzles, how have you liked them, and also let me know if you're considering trying them out after seeing this. And then I really want to know, what on this image are you eating first? Because I love seafood, okay? And so honestly, it all looks pretty good to me, but the crab legs always speak to me. And whatever this like clam pasta situation looks pretty tasty. But let me know which one you'd be eating. That is all I have for you for today's video. Make sure that you're following me on TikTok and Instagram. Like this video if you liked it, and I will see you in my next video.